We went retro with the black and white tonight, early this morning. I hope you like it. Hey everybody, how are you? Good morning. Sunday morning here in Queens, and just finding out that I've achieved nothing. It sounds like a hook, it sounds like clickbait, but it's not. It's certainly something that I think about. I'm not talking about being successful in my career, which I pretty much was, or having some material things now, a car and stuff like that. I'm talking about deep within, being happy with who you are. Because achieving isn't only monetarily, right? It's spiritually, it's thinking that you figured something out. Maybe something that had been elusive for such a long time, and you know, finally figuring out that puzzle. It's like the greatest feeling in the world. It's better than the gift or anything, right? And I go through that because you know, looking at my life at 64, having a son who's successful, great young man, that's something, certainly. And having friendships that I've garnered through 50 years. I have friends that I talk to that I'm friends 53, 54 years with. It's a long time. And I've been blessed. I've met new friends as well. Um, you know, to meet friends at a later stage in your life and to have great relationships, that's amazing. That's something that you can't put a price on, right? You can't say that's worth X amount of dollars or whatever. So when I look at my life, I try to find what I've achieved. And I think many of us go through this. We do. I think it's hard. I think it's very self-absorbing. You seem very absorbed in yourself when you're going through it, but you're not doing it to be self-absorbed or to be a narcissist. I mean, you're doing it to try to figure out maybe something that you didn't realize was there, but it is, and to be proud of, and to get you through the next however many years you have left. Yeah, I watch a lot of YouTube. Pop Goes the 60s, Mike Nolan, my friend from Bottom Line, the Four Horsemen, not the original Four Horsemen, my old Four Horsemen, with my band of guys, another channel which is entitled The Four Horsemen, terrific channel. And I watch and I observe. And I try to observe what goes on in that chat. I try to observe how do people respect each other. how there's a flow of information, which is really very heartwarming, especially nowadays, because nowadays, you know, our country can be rough. We don't have many happy stories in the morning when we throw the news channel on, whatever news channel we subscribe to. We just want something to grab onto that's positive. And sometimes it's slippery, that handle, you can't grab it. And that's where I use the other YouTube content providers as a source of hope, that you have people that are in there just have a good time like you, to escape from the tough times that we have out there, from the prices, from everything that we go through. And sometimes we succeed, and sometimes we get so caught up in a shell that we've forgotten our problems. And sometimes shows remind us of just how many problems we have. And that's the rub. There it lies. How we get around it and learn from it and are able to enjoy life a little. Even though once we turn off the channel that we're watching, real life is still there for us to contend with, to negotiate through. And it can be real disconcerting, because you think like, oh, is this ever going to end? The strife that I deal with in my life, or whether it's illness or whatever, when are we going to get a clear patch? It's kind of like being on an aircraft. You ever have really bad turbulence and the pilot gets on, it says, within about 15 minutes, we're going to hit a pretty smooth patch. And I'll turn the seatbelt signs off and all that. And then you finally hit a smooth patch for a while, and you start relaxing, and it starts getting really comfortable, and then you hit another rough patch. Well, that's what life is. You're on the aircraft, and it was rough going up, and you had to buckle and be careful. And then you had a patch that was a little turbulent, and then you had a patch that was easy, and you could go to the bathroom, you could walk around, you could stretch your legs. And soon as you got comfortable, get back to your seats. And that's pretty much a metaphor for life. That's what happens to us. We all seem to have to fasten our seatbelts much more than hang out and roam the aisle of the aircraft. And how do we get around it? How do we learn how to stick everything that we need to get done in that 40 minutes of smooth patch before we have to return to our seats and can't do anything about anything? Well, that's what we learn. And some of us are better at it than others. Some of us really lose it. Some of us don't have the patience to wait. And, not having patience, taking the cake out when it's supposed to be in for 40 minutes, you take it out at 29 because you can't wait. It's not going to be cooked properly. I don't care how good your oven is. You can have a 14-karat gold, $100,000 stove. If it's 40 minutes to heat, that's what it is. And I don't care how great your refrigerator is. If you put spoiled milk in that refrigerator, it could be $1 million refrigerator. It's coming out spoiled again. There are things we can't change, but there are things we can learn to live with, and there are things that we can learn to navigate to the point where we can almost convince ourselves we're happy. So this slight 10 to 12 minute message for you on an early Sunday morning is this: being spiritual is great if you're ready for it. Being in love is great if you're ready for it. Buying a new home is great if you're ready for it. Bottom line, you need to be ready for it. And sometimes, as much as you push, 28 minutes is not going to finish that cake that was supposed to be 40. So, what we need to do for your Sunday sermon here is give yourselves a break. It's okay to make mistakes. In fact, you're supposed to. We are imperfect, right? As human beings, we're not supposed to be perfect. Actually, the more mistakes we make, the more real and human you are. The more you can admit them really makes you human and makes you own it, which makes you a man. So I'm just finding out that I've achieved nothing. Maybe tomorrow I'll find something that I've achieved and I'll feel a little better. But I have achieved one thing. When I say nothing, it's a metaphor. I've achieved some things, obviously. But I've achieved having a YouTube channel and meeting so many great friends on here. That I have achieved. I'll give myself that. But that's on you because you were always gracious enough to come in. So, Sunday morning message, which I'm going to do this every Sunday morning around the same time. Give yourselves a break. You deserve it. Life didn't come with instructions. So, you know what? Write them as you go along and just hope that once in a while you get it right. Have a good one.